Aisha walking into the bank, early morning light streaming through glass doors, calm expression masking subtle tension. She walked into the bank like any other day, expecting routine smiles, maybe a small chat with the teller. But instead of courtesy, she faced sneers and laughter, mocked for nothing more than the color of her skin. In an instant, the room shifted, eyes glued, hearts racing. What she did next would stun everyone around her, flip the script, and leave the bank's staff frozen in disbelief. How could one woman's words change everything in mere seconds? This isn't just a story of humiliation. It's a story of power, courage, and the shocking truth about who really holds control. Aisha at her office desk in the bank lobby, reviewing paperwork, focused but relaxed. It was a quiet Monday morning, and Aisha was following her usual routine. She had spent years building her career, proving herself in a world that often underestimated her. The bank she owned wasn't just a business. It was her pride, a symbol of everything she had fought for. Today, like any other day, she walked through the familiar doors, expecting the usual greetings and mundane paperwork. But something felt off. The teller's eyes lingered too long, a smirk playing across their face. It was subtle, almost unnoticeable, but Aisha sensed it. Little did she know, this ordinary morning was about to spiral into a confrontation that would challenge everything she thought she knew about respect, power, and prejudice. Close-up of the bank teller leaning slightly forward at the counter, smirking at Aisha. As Aisha approached the teller's window, the air seemed heavier than usual, charged with an undercurrent she couldn't yet name. The teller smiled at her, just enough to seem polite, but the eyes didn't reach the smile. Instead, they darted over her face, lingering in a way that made her pulse quicken. She handed over the paperwork, expecting routine questions, routine processing. But the first comment hit like a blade. A snide remark about her place in the bank, a laugh that wasn't meant to be friendly, a subtle jibe that cut deeper than words should. Medium shot of Aisha standing slightly apart from other customers, expressions of curiosity and subtle judgment from nearby people. Shock registered for a moment. Could this really be happening in her own bank? The teller continued, mocking her accent, her style, the way she carried herself. Other employees glanced over but said nothing. The room, once familiar and safe, now felt hostile and alien. Aisha's hands tightened around the documents, her jaw clenched, and yet she remained composed, refusing to give them the satisfaction of seeing her shaken. Aisha stepping forward toward the teller with calm authority, room slightly tense. Every second stretched longer than it should. Each word from the teller was a reminder that prejudice could wear the face of routine service. The murmurs of the other staff seemed almost deafening, a quiet chorus of indifference. The sense of injustice gnawed at her, sparking anger but also a cold, calculated resolve. Then came the moment that escalated everything. A customer made a passing comment, laughing at the teller's behavior, and for a fleeting instant, Aisha felt isolated, trapped in a theater of casual cruelty. Her mind raced, not in panic but in strategy. She knew she couldn't let this moment define her. She had to assert her presence, her authority, without breaking composure. A sudden hush fell over the bank as she stepped forward, her voice calm but firm, each word deliberate. The teller faltered slightly, sensing the shift but not yet understanding its magnitude. Aisha's gaze swept the room, locking briefly with the eyes of colleagues who had ignored her dignity moments ago. Every heartbeat drummed louder. Something was about to give, but what? Extreme close-up of Aisha confidently stating, "I own this bank," eyes sharp, shoulders back, calm determination in her expression. The room fell completely silent. Every eye was on Aisha, the woman who had built this bank from the ground up, yet now she felt the weight of every sneer, every whispered comment aimed to belittle her. The teller, emboldened by the moment, leaned forward with a mocking grin, thinking this was a game he could control. But Aisha's calm had a razor-sharp edge. Teller mid-reaction, mouth slightly open, eyes wide, disbelief on his face. She took a deep breath, letting the silence stretch just long enough for everyone to feel it. Then, with unwavering authority, she spoke the words that would flip the entire dynamic. "I own this bank." For a heartbeat, the teller froze. The grin vanished, replaced by disbelief, shock, a flicker of fear. The audacity, the undeniable truth, hit him like a physical force. Colleagues shifted uncomfortably, caught between loyalty, surprise, and the realization that they had misjudged her entirely. Wide shot of the bank lobby capturing multiple customers and staff reacting, a mix of awe, disbelief, and whispering. Aisha didn't stop there. Her voice carried through the room, steady and commanding, outlining the years of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice that had built the institution they had all taken for granted. Each word landed like a hammer, exposing prejudice and entitlement for what it was. The teller's attempt to mock, to diminish her, crumbled in the face of undeniable power and presence. The tension was electric. The customers turned to watch, whispers spreading like wildfire, some in awe, some in disbelief. In that charged moment, Aisha stood as a living testament to resilience, dignity, and the truth that prejudice cannot withstand courage. The bank, once a stage for humiliation, had become a monument to justice in real time. Aisha walking confidently through the bank after confrontation, neutral but assertive expression. The tension in the bank finally eased, but the echoes of that moment lingered long after the doors closed. Aisha had reclaimed not just her authority, but her dignity, standing tall against prejudice that tried to diminish her. The teller and staff were left to confront their own assumptions, realizing that mockery and bias could not silence truth or hard-earned success. For Aisha, the incident became more than a confrontation. It was a reminder of the power that comes from resilience and self-belief. What could have been a moment of humiliation was transformed into one of undeniable empowerment. She returned to her work, but nothing felt ordinary anymore. Every step she took in that bank was a statement, a testament to courage in the face of ignorance. Aisha seated at her desk, looking thoughtfully out of a large window cityscape visible outside. Yet this story isn't just about one woman's triumph. It reflects a reality many face daily. Microaggressions, outright discrimination, the constant fight to be seen and respected. Aisha's experience shines a light on the systemic prejudices that persist, reminding us that change requires both awareness and action. The room may have been silent that day, but the lesson was loud. Dignity cannot be mocked, authority cannot be stolen, and courage can inspire even the indifferent to pause and reflect. Aisha's story asks us all, how often do we challenge the injustices around us? How often do we recognize and confront the biases we encounter, even in ordinary places? Close-up of Aisha's eyes reflecting determination and resilience, slight tension in brow. Because in every bank, every office, every neighborhood, the chance to stand against discrimination is an opportunity to change not just a moment, but a culture. Wide exterior shot of the bank building with urban city streets, people walking past unaware, cinematic golden hour lighting. And perhaps, like Aisha, we can all find a way to turn fear, mockery, and prejudice into a catalyst for power, respect, and lasting impact.